I'll tell you what, I've the thought of another game. We can put Karl's into theory, right? I can tell him a sort of like a person or, you know, a people or a place, right? Or a profession, and he's got to come up with a good and bad.
A good and bad thing.
It is dicing with death.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do this?
Well, listen, if we're quitting in the next couple of weeks, then who cares?
Okay. Good and bad, right?
Well, hang on, whoa, let me just, we're on the prizes here.
Alright, okay.
So now 55. I know there's a lot of XFM listeners who are going to be looking forward to the likes of S Club 8 and the Fast Food Rockers. They're all on there.
I can't wait. What is their second single going to be about?
The Smashing Pumpkins. This is quite a good little compilation of sort of B-sides and live performances and stuff like that, which is not bad. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. I think we've given that away in the past. All sorts of stuff on there. Plus the director's cut of True Romance on DVD, the Tarantino scripted.
Oh, it's a great film.
Tony Scott directed movie.
Oh.
So there's some quite good prizes. Just play it once more.
So email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Why don't they play the game of swing ball?
Just the artist, yeah. That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing ball.
Very tricky.
Brilliant.
Very
That is
tricky.
brilliant.
Right. Bung a song on. I'll bung a song on now.
What?
Let's put a song on. Bit of Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
Good and bad. Good and bad. Old people. Darkness. I believe in a thing called love on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Karl set the ball rolling with songs of phrase. Why don't they play swing ball? Referring, of course, to people in wheelchairs who play tennis, because he was disappointed they weren't getting around the court quickly enough. So why didn't they play swing ball?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Someone just emailed in saying because if they hit it to the top, they wouldn't be able to reach it to unravel it.
Exactly.
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, good and bad in people in wheelchairs. Do you want to do that? Good and bad. Good and bad things about people in wheelchairs.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Suppose. Dunno, really. They take up less room in cinemas. They've got their own seat.
Good.
That's good, is it?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Well done.
And what's bad?
Dunno, I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
But, well, let's leave that, eh?
You started it. The hate list. Can I just return your minds to the hate list? I said on the hour that we would give you basically the top 5. Now, we have to stress, this is the top 5 most hated people that you, the XFM listeners, have suggested to us. We have not massaged these.
No.
We have not made these up. These are coming from you. Last week we began it. This week you've continued to email. So this is the list. We do not endorse this list. Some of them we may agree with, some of them maybe not, but it's the list that you have come up with. We are merely the messengers.
I tell you who was coming through recently. Cameron, but he didn't make the top 5.
I'm afraid he was just a late
Williams
entrant,
dropped out of the top 5.
Robbie Williams surprisingly dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So let me tell you now, in no particular order, this is the top 5 that you're voting for.
Well, I say XFM listeners, people who listen to this show. I mean, XFM listeners aren't typical radio listeners, and I think our listeners aren't typical XFM listeners.
Right.
So, I don't know what this poll, what it's worth. What any poll's worth, but I mean, this one is probably worth very little.
I think in a way it's sort of worth less.
Yeah, go on, who's the top 5 in no particular order?
We want you, the listener, to then just vote, email in with the one name that you hate the most, and then from this list,
Out of this
we
list,
can
yeah.
clear out the number 1.
Okay.
But this is in no particular order. Chris Tarrant,
Yeah.
surprising entrant. Davina McCall.
Well, I don't think he's that surprising.
Well, anyway,
I mean,
I'm not gonna editorialise.
No, I'm not saying, I'm saying I imagine XFM listeners pretty much despise someone like Chris Tarrant.
Okay, well anyway, Chris Tarrant's on there, Davina McCall,
Yeah.
Patrick Kilty,
Right.
Graham Norton,
Right.
and Chris Moyles. Now I'm not going to say anything. Those are the names that you have drawn up. There are lots of others that didn't make the top 5. Richard Madeley was on there, Michael Flatley, Vorderman, bizarrely.
Michael Flatley's a weird one.
Very strange. So Jamie Oliver, a lot of votes for him, but he's not made the top 5. So those are the top 5. Just email in with the number 1 that you hate. And we're talking about someone
another pointless, inane poll.
Exactly.
And this time we did it. Oh, dear.
Moyles, Norton, Kilty, McCall, Tarrant. It's your choice.
Who would you have
Ricky
out of this?
Gervais.
Who would you have in your list, Karl? You're allowed to talk because people know your opinions don't matter. So, what?
I honestly don't really hate anyone.
That's
that
nice.
much. I'm not that fussed. Do you know what I mean?
We're
I
not
don't
talking so
like
much about hate. We're talking about someone that
Yeah, we don't
annoys
mean
you. Someone
hate. You can't hate any of these people. All they've done was pop them up on telly. But I think it's people who, as one listener, she put it. She sort of, so I think she had some of those, and she said, you know, I don't hate them. These are the people that if they pop on my telly, I have to turn over. You know what I mean? It's not. You don't hate them. You know.
But sometimes it's not their fault. It's like Davina, right? I used to quite fancy her, and now because she's always on the telly, it's like I can't be dealing with her now.
Sure.
But
Right.
she's still the same presenter. It's
Yeah.
just that I'm bored with it.
Sure.
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not getting involved in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? Don't want to offend anyone.
Let me just give the email address.
But I mean,
Ricky, let me just give the email address. I just said it, so look, talk over it.
Okay, I'm gonna do Carl's top thing.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. That's also the email address for your answers to this week's Songs of Phrase. Play it again, Karl, if you would.
Go on.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
We just want the artists, is that right?
Yeah, that'll do.
I've got two that you don't like. Not that you hate them, but that you sort of like, don't agree with them. Would Liverpudlians be in your list?
Probably.
What about, gay fellas in toilets looking at you?
Well, I think they've sorted that out. So
One of the prizes this week in Karl's goodie bag features this song. Play it, Karl. The Monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday.
God.
Monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday. Brilliant. XFM 104.9, Karl Pilkington.
This show is monkey heavy,
It
isn't
is
it?
indeed.
It is monkey heavy. Karl, if you were president, would you sort of make it compulsory to maybe have a little monkey? Everyone has a little monkey of their own? Little chimps out and out, old age pensioners?
it's not a bad little. It's funny, you know, because there was a story the other day when I was looking for monkey news. There's a story about a couple who couldn't have any kids, right? There's something wrong with them, but they really wanted a kid. And they got some dodgy email address where they could buy a baby online, right? It was someone who would have a kid, and you could buy it for $3,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they got one, they got picked, and they're like, brilliant, there's the money. Got the baby and everything, they were loving it. You know, playing with it and stuff. As it got older,
Feeding it.
it got airier.
Oh, shut the oh, Karl!
Turned out they'd been sold a chimp.
You maniac, you stupid mank twat.
How
Don't
on earth?
talk shit. That is as if that, what?
didn't know it.
Oh, don't talk. Are you mental? You
I love the fact
stupid.
that didn't make it into monkey news.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's a bit sad though, we don't like to bring
They
the
bought,
feature down.
yeah.
But
And how
anyway,
long was this into, it got hairier. They're born hairy!
no, it wasn't.
They're not born like humans then develop hair, because they go, hold on, we better get the chimp stuff kicking in now, because we're in the jungle.
School photograph, they were like, hang on a minute. He looks a bit weird. With all the
Oh,
other kids.
you are just
Mad, innit?
the rubbish. Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Imagine, oh, God.
But
Just
anyway.
imagine if he was in charge. We did put him in charge of the country.
Terrifying.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Let him run the country.
Just for a week.
Or the mayor. What would you do if you were the president or the Lord Mayor of London or the Prime?
Prime Minister Karl.
I
don't
wouldn't do it like he's going to be offered it. It's a hypothetical question, Karl.
No, but Suzanne was, alright, my missus, if you're a new listener.
You keep her, sure.
Yeah, help her.
She was watching the news, trying to follow some heavy stuff. And I'm like,
The weather? What?
You know, I just was like bored and I was reading about that mouse that had an ear on its back and stuff like that. So she said, well, you take notice of this. Should be, you know what Ricky and Steve are like. They try to teach you stuff and you don't even want to learn. So to try and get me interested in it, she was like saying, what would you do if you're president and stuff?
Yeah.
And I can't be doing with any of it. It's
What did you
hassle.
come up with? You must
What would
have.
your slogan be?
What did you come up with? Did you come up with anything?
I had a little, the design of it, right? I said I'd have like red and blue, sort of, do you know what I mean? Both sort of major sides into one. Taking the best out of
Well,
both.
that's broken the back of it. That's a pretty good manifesto so far. Anything else? What's on the second page?
I had like, KP looks after me,
That would be the badges, would it?
yeah.
That's good. I'm a KP nut.
Yeah.
Um,
KP looks
that's-
after me.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's about as far as I went with it.
What would you do? What about, you know, policies, transport, crime, you know, just law and order?
Yeah, what would you do, how would you deal with crime? What would your initial approach be? Would you introduce guns? Should police carry guns?
Nah.
No.
Would I have to worry about that?
Okay.
you're
No,
the Prime
good point.
Minister.
Good point.
No, what I'm saying is that, I mean, Tony Blair isn't sorting everything out, is he?
No, but he has a say in most things.
Does he? Well, go on then. What are the problems at the moment that need sorting out?
Well, generally, what's the best way to combat? Would you bolster up the prison system? Would you introduce more community service?
Would you
put more bodies on the beat?
would you go harsher for say I don't know drugs? Would you go harsher or less harsh? There's pros and cons to
Higher or
both, isn't
lower?
it? Because of course you can't see to condone it, but some people, you know, you don't want to go through the court system and cost taxpayers thousands of pounds of money for someone, I don't know, the difference between smoking a spliff and dealing crack. Do you know what I mean? You have to all these things. Have I lost you?
Yeah, I'd just think about it for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You'd think about it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably ask Suzanne. Do you know what I mean?
This is amazing.
Get her help on it.
Hello, and welcome to this DVD extra. I suppose it should be called Meet Karl Pilkington 2. We did a little bonus feature for my politics DVD, where we talked about politics, obviously, and that sort of introduced you to the world. That was put on YouTube, and it's had like 1 million hits. So I think, you know, it's time we did that again, but around science, a subject that, if possible, you know less about than you did about politics, in a way.
I reckon I do know more about science.
What is science?
It's in everything, isn't it? You can't avoid science.
It's interesting because people who believe in God say that about God. He's in everything.
No, but this is like proper. This is, you know, if people want to believe in God, that's all right. But science is, without science, we wouldn't have any of this.
Well, it's almost the antithesis, isn't it? That if you believe in the magic of, you know, God and all his impossibilities and theological, and you know, that's science looks at hard empirical facts.
See, all that went right off my head. I'm into science. I'm into the weird science. You know, I like the fun of it. There's a lot of fun in science.
Let's start at the beginning, the Big Bang. Okay, here, what do you think of this? An atom, right, is mostly nothing. One analogy is it's like a fist in the Albert Hall. So an atom, the size of the Albert Hall, the matter part of it, okay, the nucleus would be a fist. The rest is space, okay? That's one thing. With a fly buzzing round it as the electron, just
Yeah, that's
a
great.
charge. Now, when we look at it on that scale, it's easy to understand that all matter that exists, everything in this universe, was once in the space many, many times smaller than an atom.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. No one, most people watching this are going, I don't get that. My head hurts. What else is on?
Everything in the universe could be crammed into the tiniest thing imaginable. And that was sitting there in the beginning of time, right? 15 billion years ago, right? And then it expanded into a universe in a few minutes.
But was there minutes then?
No.
So we don't know then. We don't know how long it took. Not that it matters, I'm not bothered. It's here now. And that's what I'm saying to you. It's all amazing, that. The Big Bang thing. I've said to you, was it a Big Bang, or was it just because there was nothing else there to drown out the noise? At the end of the day, it's that whole thing, innit? The noise. Was there even a noise if no one's there to hear it? Don't be worrying about all that stuff. Leave it to Stephen Hawking to do it. Of course he can sit there and think about it. He's got nothing else to do. Let him get online. Oh, it's great to think. I like thinking, but my world's too busy. I've always got to be doing other things. He's sat there just thinking. I'd be the same if I was in his shoes. Exactly the same. Thinking. But he's done that much thinking. He's thinking about things now he doesn't need to think about. Pack it in, Steve. Have a rest. Play Pac-Man. Do whatever. Just do something else. Stop worrying about the Big Bang. He's wasting his life thinking about something that doesn't matter. We don't need to know the answer.
He's wasting his life thinking about something that doesn't matter. Good.
It doesn't matter, does it? In your life of things that matter, where would you put the Big Bang?
No, but then where do you
We're not
draw
here
the
for
line?
long enough. Well, we're not here for long
But then
enough.
nothing matters then, does it? So
It does, yeah.
What
Things
does?
matter.
What matters?
Well, keeping people happy.
Okay.
You know, looking after people.
So keeping them happy could be giving them life-saving drugs, or feeding a starving world, or letting someone become mobile that was otherwise immobile.
And that's fine. But you're talking about space. When did it start? Where does it end? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You know, it goes on and on and on and on. We know that. Atoms, they're not getting in the way. Stop worrying about them. I read something about some scientists trying to smash one up. What for? They're not in the way. If they were big and I kept bumping into them, smash them up. Break them down. Gravel. Make gravel out of them.
Make atoms so tiny that they're only gravel.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's not an issue. And
Right.
there's loads of problems in the world. There is loads of problems. You may mention them all, the starvation, all that, and someone's faffing about with an atom. That isn't going to sort anything out.
Some people say mathematics is the tool of science. You need maths to do anything in science
Yeah,
of precision.
I believe that. You do. I like doing DIY. I've told you, there's a lot of maths involved. Accuracy.
Right.
That's fine.
Okay. Just taking it slightly even more accurate than DIY. Microsurgery. Putting a man on the moon. The figures had to be.
Pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, you see, if we didn't have the numbers, that wouldn't have happened. But all we've done is create something else we didn't need because of something else we've got. We didn't have to put man on the moon. What was he doing? What did he do? Nothing. Has he been back? No, he hasn't. He didn't enjoy it. No one else has gone up there. The only reason, the thing that I've thought of recently when I thought that would be good to go into space again is to get rid of rubbish. That's what I'd do. They're always going on about landfill and everything. It's not good. We can't get rid of all this. Shoot it up there. Stick it into space. It's expanding. There's loads of space. Stick all the shit up there. Don't be sending a man up. I heard that one of them astronauts knocking a golf ball about on the moon. Leave your golf clubs at home and take some shit up with you and tip it.
Yeah. But do you know how much fuel is needed to get a kilogram of something up out of the Earth's atmosphere and into space?
Tell me. He had a golf club with him. A
I
golf
know.
ball.
Okay, but how much rubbish do you think we can really get rid of?
As much as you want.
But how much fuel does it take? I mean, it's a matter of economics as well. Think of the fuel that would take a bin bag full up into space would far outweigh that bin bag being on Earth.
But they keep going into space now. They're not going to the moon. They knock around space, messing with satellites.
Right.
Less astronauts. A couple of bin bags. Chuck some shit up there. And what's good with it is it won't break up. It'll just keep circling. And up there, then, space isn't space anymore. It'll be like a museum. Because there'll be old stuff from years ago. At the moment, we don't save anything, do we? It's all about recycling. Everything's destroyed. There's no evidence of the past. Go into space, it'll be like Antiques Roadshow of shit from the years gone by.
Right. I'd like to see this episode. That's mental, Karl.
It's not mental.
It is mental. How would you get the rubbish up there?
In the rocket.
Yeah, but you don't know anything. Do you know
going
how
up
much
there.
fuel it takes to
But
burn?
they're going up anyway. I'm just saying, at least if they're going up there, do something. Do something different. It's space. There's nothing in space. Well, let's put something there. That's what we do as humans. We don't like plain space. We fill it. That's what we do. So just chuck some shit into space. That's all I'm saying. If you're up there, get rid of a few bin bags.
Brilliant. That's space.
There's nothing Don't you understand what I'm saying? There's nothing...
Yeah, but it's mental. It's everything's wrong with it. It's once again a terrible, flawed theory.
Time machines, they're funny. That's science.
Well, we're sort of going into the future, aren't we, all the time, by
Every
definition?
day we are, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm talking about people want to do big leaps, don't they?
Yeah.
I met a scientist once, you know, that old fella I met, proper scientist. He said he'd love to get in a time machine.
Patrick Moore.
No, Wolf. Heinz Wolf.
Alright.
Met him, he said, I'd love a time machine.
Where would he go, back or
Yeah,
forward?
back. He said he wanted to go back, because he asked me, he said, where do you want to go? And I said, I think I picked a holiday that I had.
So you went back 5 or 6 years?
Because I knew exactly what I'd be going back to. I enjoyed that week. I'd be going back, I wouldn't have to pay for that holiday, I've already paid for it. It's not like I'm turning up and someone's going, get out, you shouldn't be here. I was there.
So you're going back because you reckon you'll save 400 quid?
Well, it's 250. It was a bargain. In Mallorca, a villa, swimming pool, 3 bedrooms.
That's what you'd use a time machine for?
I'm just saying, why do people always have to jump so far
So
back?
hold on then, let me get this straight. Are you going back and it's you now and you've had that 5 years and you're loving it, oh, I remember doing this, or are you going back and just reliving it like a memory and no one knows the difference and nor do you? It's like you're just doing it and then you have to...
No, everybody there doesn't know I've gone back in time.
Right. So
Well,
you've come
me-
from the future then?
Yeah, but they don't know that.
No, I know, but you're in your body then, you look like you did then, but actually it's Karl 5 years on.
Yeah, but I'm having the same holiday and I'm going to enjoy it more.
So you're not coming back with going like, oh, Rita, go and get that checked out. And no?
Just having a holiday. But the weird thing is, this professor bloke, he wanted to go back. He said he wanted to go back when, like, cavemen were knocking about to see how they sort of mooched about and how they survived.
See, that to me is
Horrible.
more interesting than going back on a holiday I've already had. I'll be honest.
You wouldn't go back to being a caveman. You'd hate it. You'd be going, oh, God, send me back. And they go, no, you've got to stay here for a bit. It's an expensive
Like
machine.
10,000 years.
Yeah. Auntie Nora.
Right.
I'm cold. She doesn't want double glazing.
Why not?
Just because she's worried that when people come round and sort of knock on the door, she won't hear them because it's all sort of double glazed.
But they're knocking on the door.
No, but she said that she didn't like a bell. It makes her jump too much.
Well,
It's a hard one.
how do they get in now?
Well, it's a thin door and thin glass. You hear it. It's not like soundproof like double glazing is.
What, so they have to knock
They
on
knock
the...
like that on the door, and she can hear that because
But
it's
why
like
are they
a
going
wooden
to double
door.
glaze the door? Is it a glass door?
No, they want to put that PVC door in with
Hang
the
on,
thicker
so
glass.
she's scared by... You don't want a doorbell because that alarms her, but the knocking is fine.
The knocking's fine because you
Why
get
don't-
to know
Why don't
knocks
they have a bell that when you press it, it makes that noise?
because they haven't done that yet.
Well,
Maybe
yeah,
that's an
you
idea.
could do a sample of a... like that. So when they press the doorbell, she hears... That's easy, that's done. You could sort that out for her.
Well, I don't want to start getting dragged into it because
Why don't you make Auntie Nora a bell that knocks?
it could be done. But the fact of the matter is, it isn't, and that's why she didn't want double glazing.
But why don't you tell her, say, Auntie Nora, have double glazing, be warm, be safe. Hear the knock. Hear the knock of the bell on the doubly door. Auntie Nora, hear the knock of the bell on the doubly door.
She could fart until she's blue in the face. No one will be able to hear.
But look,
No one will be able to smell it.
But this
No
is
double
it.
glazing.
This
It's
is
tremendous.
it. This is it, though, isn't it? She wouldn't be around now if it wasn't for people interfering, coming up with tablets, making weak people live longer.
Right. You're annoyed at that. You're
I
annoyed.
love it. He's such a fascist, isn't he? Anti-Nora, a weak person who has been allowed
Yeah.
to live.
Yeah.
No, but
Eugenics is where you'd be happier.
but don't you see what I'm saying, though? The way the world we've changed more than the world has. We can't handle anything now, can we? Look at it, like I say, a bit of snow, a bit of cold, everything comes to a standstill.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go out, it's dangerous, you'll slip over, people having time off work.
Yeah. What would you do, right? If you run a business, right? Your business could go under, right? It snows a bit. You got 10 employees. You're paying them well, and they go, "I can't come in today, Karl. It's a bit icy." I'll do it. Okay. Right. They're snowed in, right? You're running the business. What are you running?
It's a, let's not,
Don't-
I'm
don't
not going
you-
to big myself up, it's just a,
No,
it's a
don't you run it-
factory,
but
it's
doesn't it make bells
U-bends,
that knock?
no,
Doesn't it-
U-bends,
Yeah.
U-bends for... you know,
Toilet. So
yeah.
you run a. Okay. Right. Okay.
It's a plumbing
So
type.
plumbing, you pay them all right, don't you?
I'd say most of them are on above average.
So you're there. What time do you get in?
About 8:45.
8:45, waiting for them to come in at 9, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, right, it's snowing. It's a bit snowy, you got there. It took you a bit while. You'd set off early, did you? Or?
Gave myself a bit more time because I had to put the heating on in the car.
Okay, ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Hello, KP Plumbing.
Oh, is that Miss Pilkington?
Yeah, it is, yeah, who's that?
Oh, it's Sheila. Listen.
Sheila, shouldn't you be here by now?
Yeah, no, I was going to set off.
We'll set off now. Stop wasting time. We've got a big order on.
No, I know.
We're all on a bonus here if we get this done. I'll see you in 10 minutes, shall I?
I can't make it.
What?
I can't make it.
Why not?
The car won't start and it's slippy on the drive. I just can't get out.
Get the transport. I'll see you in. I'll give you 20 minutes, alright? Don't worry about it. Thanks for calling. I'll see you in a bit.
I'm also scared of the ice. I'm scared of the ice. I'm not gonna come in today. It's dangerous.
So what are you going to do?
Well, I'm gonna wait until the ice and snow goes away and then I'm gonna come in.
But they're predicting it's going to be about 2 weeks before they clear all this.
I can't really travel in this. It's a bit dangerous.
Well, I'll tell you what. You stay at home. I'll replace you. Because I need someone to come in with
What, you're firing me because I can't get into work with this.
Well, I got into work, Sheila.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you don't live with me, do you? If you did live with me, then you'd probably see
it was bad where I was as well. I'm here.
Do you know how bad it is here? When you come round and have a look how bad it is here,
no,
you drive
I'm
my...
not coming
Tell you what,
round
you come round and drive my fucking car because I'm snowed in, you fucking calling me a cunt. And I'll tell you, if you fire me, I'll take you to drive uni, you bald-headed wanker.
Right, you're fired anyway for that.
You're in fucking trouble then.
Right then, see ya. Right, and then she's done with. She's weak anyway.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
KP Plumbing.
Hiya, is that, Miss Pilkington?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Hi, it's Bob here.
Bob.
Yeah, bit of trouble. In my area, it's absolutely snowing. It's possible. No one's getting out. I live near Sheila.
Bob,
by the way.
listen, Sheila's just been on. She's saying she can't get in either.
She can't. I've just seen her out there trying to dig her car out, and she's she's really tried hard to get to work, but she can't do it because she's not very rich. And her car doesn't work. She hasn't got the right tyres, and there's no public transport. They've cancelled those. Wrong snow on this country. I'm not going to make it in today, son. So I'll see you tomorrow, right, boy?
Well, no, you're saying you'll see me tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you'll probably call up tomorrow with the same thing.
Well, only if it's snowing still.
Now, listen,
it might not
I can't run a business like this, Bob.
Yeah, it's not my fault, is it really?
So go round to Sheila's and like slag me off if you want. But I'll tell you what, you're not coming back here. Fuck off. One chance. Give him one chance.
Well, you didn't even give him one chance.
No, because they've done it before.
Oh, fucking hell.
Just annoys me.
Oh, shit, bastard, he's only gone and written it down.
The jingle there to announce yet another reading from Karl Pilkington's diary. My mum called me to ask me to look in some of the magazine shops in London for a magazine that she can't find. It's called UFO Data. I said, I ain't heard of it. She said she's seen an advert for it in one of her ghost magazines.
I love the fact that she can't even find the magazine about unidentified flying objects.
Yeah. So we get a clue.
She thinks, I think I saw something, but I don't know whether it was a magazine or not.
So we get a clue there as to why you give any credence to this crap.
Yeah, well, it's, I mean...
Mama Pilkington's into the same shit.
There's a lot of space out there, isn't there?
She said that this magazine has got news story about how Aldrin, brackets astronaut, has got some evidence that aliens exist.
Yeah.
I told her that I found out today that the days are about 36 minutes longer on Mars. We chatted about how this is how they are more advanced than us. Do you mean the Martians?
Yeah, if they've got a longer day, that's more time that they're awake, working on stuff.
Right, yeah, we know that makes no difference at all.
No, it does.
Think about it. Think about it.
Look, think about it. 6 o'clock here.
Yeah.
People are going, see you tomorrow. I'm going home. They'll be going, another half hour. They've got a longer day. Productive.
And that's why they're able to fly.
That's why they're whizzing around. It adds up, doesn't it, over the years?
Christ almighty, what drivel!
Suzanne got in from work at 11:30. I told her about the UFOs in Mars. She said she's too tired to chat. I said, does it mean aliens will be more tired than us, or do they get more sleep? I got no answer. I love it when Suzanne does it. She never indulges
No,
you.
it scares her. Anything with ghosts and UFOs, she sort of...
It doesn't
ignores
scare her,
does
it bores
scare
her.
No, it freaks her out. Scares her.
Okay. Read about a pub that is getting some stick because they've stopped a horse going in.
It's been the horses regular for ages, but there's been some new owners who've taken over the pub, and they said they're serving fresh food and don't want a horse in there anymore. Oh, God. I met Suzanne after she finished work, and we went for a brew in another cafe.
Gosh, Jesus.
It's always having a brew in a calf.
It's like a sitcom.
It is. Suzanne said I looked tired and fed up. She taught me some way to breathe that will relax me. I wasn't feeling that relaxed, though, because the person behind the counter was banging about making a coffee. Noise stresses me out. I wonder if less deaf people die of stress than people with working ears do.
Oh, it's the theories. It's the
It is such a noisy world, though, isn't it?
It is. London is noisy, very noisy.
I think just everywhere, just noise in general. They were saying how, like, every noise has been used at least 5 times or something.
What do you mean?
Because there's only so many noises in the world.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there's only so many
What
noises.
do you mean every noise has been used 5 times? I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means.
Because
Every noise once has been used at least 5 times.
there's only so many noises. It's like a piano, isn't there? There's only so many notes.
Yeah.
And there's only so many noises.
Right.
But because there's so much stuff, the same noises are being used again.
I don't know what that means.
By whom? Who's reusing the noise?
By whatever.
So a
you'll have-
woodpecker when it's woodpecking?
Yeah. Some birds make noises that would sound like a Ford Escort, just because there's only so many noises that people can use.
What is he talking about?
Noises are a byproduct. Outside an instrument,
Yeah,
noises are a byproduct. They don't, a machine, they don't go, watch me make this noise, make this machine. It makes the noise it makes when it's doing
But
something.
why does it make that noise? Why not pick another noise?
They don't pick the
Well, who's
noise.
picking the noise?
The printing press makes the noise because it's the sound of the thing
Yeah,
going down.
yeah,
You
so
know,
the printing-
a hammer makes that noise because that's what it does. No one's going, oh, can we make this make a different noise? No, it's a byproduct.
I
It's-
know. So there's only so many noises.
I don't know what you mean. When Stevenson's Rocket came, and I went. I went. Can you make it go? It's what. That's the noise it made.
I know, but then, say like a new frog comes out.
Oh, what do you mean a new frog comes out?
They find a new type of frog.
Right.
It makes a noise, and
Yeah.
they'll go, "Yeah, I knew it was going to sound like that."
What are you talking
Because
about?
there's only so many noises. No animal comes out and makes like a weird noise, and you go, "I've never heard that noise before." They go, "Oh, that sounds like a chicken," or "It sounds like a Ford Escort," or there's only so many
What
noises.
frog sounds like a Ford Escort?
No,
there
but there'll be
can't be
some
many
animal.
because you've used Ford Escort twice as an analogy here. So you're running out of noises. You've come up with chicken and Escort so far.
I can't
But
explain
the problem
it.
is, a Ford Escort sounds a bit like an Austin Allegro, so I
I
don't
know, yeah, and a chicken. You're ripping off the turkey, you cunt. You know, he wanted to stop educating Ricky because nothing had happened. He said, look what happened last week. I scoured the net. He said, all I found was a dog in a car wash and a parrot and a vicar.
I'll
Right?
tell you what, there ain't much more going on this week.
We're talking. Listen, me and Steve yesterday we took a day off to prove you wrong, and we've come up with 2 of the most incredible
Extraordinary.
things I told you about. And they're amazing. So there are things out there. But just go for truth. Go for truth and science
Yeah,
and
that's what I do,
discovery.
that's what I do.
Don't.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fact is stranger than fiction. You don't have to revert to sort of
yeah.
like God and ghosts.
I know, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But the funny thing is, you know, like, last couple of weeks I've been saying there's not much going on.
Yeah.
I found out when I was looking that there was a day in 1930, right? It was a Good Friday, there was no news, there was nothing going on, they had to put a music video on or something, on the telly, because there was nothing going on. With the educating Ricky, but, you know,
Let's see.
you've got, 3 titles,
Yeah.
that I tease you with, different stories, you take your pick and I teach you something, that
Yeah.
did happen.
That's a little bit of venom.
Yeah, go on.
First one is, don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
I bet that's bacon related, knowing you.
You've got enough is anus.
Say that again.
Enough is anus.
Enough is enough.
Well,
But it's changed to enough is an anus.
yeah. And
Okay.
you've got,
Yeah.
you've also got, will it be a bloke? Oh no, will it like a bloke or a woman?
What?
Will it like a bloke or a woman?
Will it?
Yeah.
Will it like a bloke or a woman?
Wow.
Yeah, so they're your 3 stories
That
today.
sounds exciting.
Okay, well,
So, 3 stories. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher.
forward
Enough
to that.
is anus. And,
and we'll have that one then.
that one.
Yeah.
Right, well, do you believe in palm reading and stuff?
Yes.
Sorry, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Sorry, I forgot. Yes, of course we do.
Right, well, there's a fella who, he used to do palm reading.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people, he found that when he went up to him in the street and said, "Do you want your palm reading?" he was like, a lot of them were like, you know, "Oh, I've you know, I'm a bit ashamed of my nails and stuff because they're a labourer or they're a cleaner or something like that."
I know a lot of labourers are slightly embarrassed by their nails.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
so he found
Look
out,
at my bloody hands, Reg.
well,
That's that hod carrying.
did I ever tell you that? Did I ever tell you that I got picked at school to make tea and serve biscuits to old people because I've got good nails?
No, go on. Is there any more to the story?
Well, that's about it. I mean, we used to do, like, I think the head teacher must have been getting something, maybe getting his mum in there for free or something in this old people's home. So he offered the kids of the school, he said, right, all sit at your desk and put your hands on the table. And everyone did. And he walked past mine and he said, not bad, not bad. Yeah. And he said, you've got the afternoon off, you can go and serve biscuits and tea to the old people.
What did you say?
I said, alright then.
Was
good.
that? Yeah.
Good afternoon. But anyway, so these...
Yeah,
so
what,
these,
what did
well,
you do?
He just sort of walked around and went, you alright, do you want bourbons or digest?
I bet you get on with old people, wouldn't you?
was alright.
I'd love to see you, maybe
Especially the senile ones.
yeah, no, but I'd love to see you on VH1, just in a link, and just go, you know, they've just played, Robert Palmer, right, and it comes to you in a little park, and you just sit next to an old lady and go, alright, and you go, yeah, not too bad, you go, what do you think of London? Crap, innit? And she goes, yeah, it's awful, innit? And you just have a talk, and you go, alright, well, she doesn't like it, in excess. That's what I'd like to see.
I still think my idea is better, but... So what are you going for then? Oh, you've picked one, haven't you? Yeah, so this fella...
So there's palmists going around the streets.
Yeah, he's going round and there's a lot-
Randomly trying to give
they're
palm readings.
They're losing money, hand
Right.
over fist.
Yeah.
Alright, so, they said, he's what he's done, he's reading people's, bottoms now.
Sorry, whoa. You just, I didn't quite follow that. He was a palm reader, that wasn't making money, so now he's going up to people in the street and saying, can I see your arse?
Basically, yeah.
So from being a palmist to an arsonist.
Well, they just, that's what he does. He said these same sort of lines and that you get on your hand, you get them on your bottom, and, he can read them.
Right.
Yeah, he's not a pervert, really, or making up as he goes along.
No, that's it, that was that.
So, sorry, if a man came up to you in the street and said, can I have a look at your arse?
Can I read your arse?
You'd drop your trousers, would you?
No, if he went up to him and they said, oh, I'd rather you didn't, because I'm a labourer, I've got bad fingernails.
No, that's why I've seen, that's what a lot of labourers, they're showing their cleavage, you think, but actually they're having their arse read.
Absolutely.
That's what that's what it is.
And then, right...
So
you
is
know-
that the end of the story?
Yeah. But then because...
That's it. Educating Ricky is, there's a bloke who reads arses.
No, but
You're a
then-
mentalist.
but no, but
what are you
then-
talking about?
But then, do you know, like, now and again I come up with a little jokey line. Thought
Yeah.
I'd make an effort today for VH1 or MTV.
Yeah.
Little line there. Don't worry, it won't last. It might just be a splash in the pan.
Okay.
Phil Collins next.
Yes, let's play some film.
So,
You
we
better
go
get
on
that
with
on you. Carl Zane Pilkington.
Educating Ricky, will we carry on?
Yeah.
Right, you've got left. Don't rub it too hard, you'll get a rasher. And,
Yeah.
will it like fellas or will it like women?
Well, you said wool before.
Yeah, will it?
Go on then, I'll have wool.
Right, now this is similar to the one you were talking about before, right? They found out that,
They.
Yeah.
scientists
Oh, yeah.
have found out
17th century?
that, like now, 1 in 10 rams are gay. 1
in 10 rams are gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like, wool it. That's how I could get that in. They got a load of gay and straight rams.
Right.
Right. They worked out which were which first. They said, right, that bunch there is a gay bunch.
They looked better, they just had more pride in their appearance.
And the other ones, you know, the straight ones. And then they gave them to this scientist and said, right, go on, do what you got to do. And they took the brains out of all of them.
Just to check.
And they did tests on the brain, and it worked out that they've got something smaller in the brain. The gay ones have got something in the brain that makes it smaller. And they said, right, well, that's probably how it's going to work on males. On like males and females and like humans.
So you took from this that gays have smaller brains than straight people?
No, there's something in the brain.
Right, go on.
So if someone's saying, you know, oh, I'm a gay, or they're not sure or whatever, they will now be able to find out.
So you can go to the doctor and to find out if you're straight or gay.
Is there any gay in my brain? Let's have a look. Do. You've got a little bit of a gay in you, yes. A little bit of gay in there. Yes, you've got the, you've got a little bent cell there.
Well, that's why they did it, anyway.
I don't understand how they could differentiate which were straight and which were gay to begin with, before they then gave it to the scientist. Wasn't that what the scientists figured out? How could they tell? Were they
There's
sort of
one theory
mincing
that
around
it's genetically determined. There is one. There is a theory that's genetically determined, but I don't think it's as easy as pulling a sheep's brain apart and finding a little pink sort of like blob in there and going, right, we've taken the guy out, now he's going to go and shag some ewes. I don't think it's that straightforward. Although homosexuality does occur at a similar sort of rate in animals, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You knew that, didn't you?
So that's that one. I mean,
I just like the idea of the farmer figuring out which is straight and gay. Well, that one's wearing quite a camp-looking neckerchief.
Yeah,
so I'm thinking maybe he's gay.
Is that, yeah. I love the fact they can,
that one's a big fan of Sophie Ellis Bextor.
yeah. They put on ABBA and see which ones dance.
Exactly,
That's how they...
Which one, yeah.
Well,
Put on like Barbara Streisand and see which ones sing along.
that shit is rubbish. What did I find out?
What did you just say? That is rubbish.
No, I found out other stuff in the week that didn't make the top 3.
Wow.
Wow. We haven't even had the...
This must be mediocre stuff. This must be really bad.
Yeah,
Well,
or it might be dubious. Go on.
There's a woman in Ireland who has been with a fella for 11 years.
Yeah.
She always saying to him, you know, when are we going to get married and that? And he's like, oh, we don't need to. You know, we're happy and that. You know, like I am with Suzanne, it's like, there's no point, really.
Yeah.
Unless you have a kid, I don't think you need to, do you?
Right.
So, he was like, we'll do it in time and all that. Anyway, he comes home from work one day. He says, oh, go on then, we'll get married. She was so shocked, her hair fell out.
Did you get that?
Wow.
So...
That's extraordinary.
And what did he say? Oh, I'm not marrying you, Baldy.
Yeah. Well...
She was so
shocked her hair fell out.
Yeah.
I love the idea of it just going to the ground.
Fell out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else?
Right, that's
didn't make
rubbish.
it. That
That's
didn't make the
rubbish.
list.
That's rubbish.
that
That's
didn't
rubbish.
make it.
Next.
You've also got,
It's weird, isn't it, Rick, that the stories that we made up are more plausible than the facts he's actually giving
I think we
us.
tried too hard. I think we tried to...
That's what he's willing to believe. He's willing to believe that a woman's hair fell out when her husband came out saying, let's get married then. Oh, you old romantic.
Yeah.
Now, what about the foreign situation? Would you have supported Bush in his war on terrorism? You're aware of this war that we had recently?
Yeah. I mean, if I was new, though, couldn't I just say, look, new slate, do you know what I mean? Let's start again.
Yeah,
Right.
of course you can.
I'm in charge now, let's see if we can sort this out.
What would you do then?
Then see what happens. Just leave
Brilliant.
it. Just leave it.
Suck it and see.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is excellent.
Now, this is not really your jurisdiction. This is not really your area, but I imagine you'd have some powerful friends who might have a say in it.
Go on.
Yeah. What would you do about single-sex marriages? Same-sex marriages?
See, this got this Cameron. I thought Cameron had blown it on Big Brother because they said, you know, what do you think about gay fellas getting married? And he went, no, in the Bible it says, you know, a man and a woman. And I thought, oh, he's put off a lot of...
Yeah.
I don't think many Christians tune into Big Brother, but we know the gays love it.
Yeah.
They love Big Brother, don't they, the gays?
Yeah, so interesting. But
So,
what would your take be on that? Same-sex marriages?
And then what? Having a kid?
Well, just let's start off with, you
Well,
know...
that's alright, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it. It's
Sure.
not affecting anyone else,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
right? But it starts getting tricky
Right.
when you get a kid.
Okay.
Go on, why?
Well, it's just tricky, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could be right. I'm not giving any... I mean, you know, we're not... There's no right or wrong
It's
answer.
alright if you were in, like, if you lived in the jungle, right, with no one else,
Yeah.
right? And you just had these two fellas, right?
Yeah.
looking after you. But because you got no one else looking in on that, saying, "Oh, you're a bit weird, aren't you?" Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
as soon as you come
So,
to...
why have they got married? Do you think the gay people turned to a bloke because they couldn't get a woman? If there's two fellas go away and they're in the jungle, they go, "We're definitely not going to find a woman here. We might as well bum." That's not how homosexuality starts. People don't.
It makes you wonder.
No, it does make you wonder. Gays don't go, "Well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a woman I fancy yet. I'll try a bit of knob."
No. But what I'm saying is, right? If you're brought up in like a little jungle, right?
Yeah.
You
How are you brought up?
Someone just puts you there.
I don't know what.
Explain.
I don't know what
Can't
this
be
is
bothered,
about.
Steve. I can't be bothered
Go
running
on,
the
mate. I'm
country.
listening. I'm fascinated.
I can't be bothered running the country. Like, I'm too much trouble for you.
KP takes care of me.
Alright,
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough. What
okay.
I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in a jungle,
Right.
right, on your
What do you
own-
mean brought up?
Just let him finish.
What does he mean
You
brought-
understand
brought
what
up,
he
though?
means? Like Tarzan.
You've got to tell me what you mean by brought up. Wolves, chimps. What?
Right, well there's a good example of what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Right, what I'm saying is, there's a fella, right, he's brought up in the jungle.
Shut up. Just let him finish. Let him finish.
There's no women about, he doesn't know about women, he doesn't understand what women are,
Right.
right? But another fella walks in the scene,
Yeah.
and he gets pally with him.
What does he talk about?
Then they've both got needs.
This scenario is ridiculous. How has he lived? Or do you know what's his reference
I
points?
can't be bothered with this. Honestly, Saturday should have been, day off and that, not worrying me about problems.
God! Oh! Oh, God!
KP takes care of me.
Oh, dear. Elbow. Fallen Angel on XFM 104.9. So, there we go. Karl as president. He's still confused, aren't you, Karl?
Just a little bit, sort of amazed
Yeah.
by the body.
Yeah. You're in
Just
awe
the-
of it, aren't you?
Just the way,
I'm amazed how two people can buy a baby on the internet for £3,000 and not realise it's a chimp till it goes to school.
no, but seriously, what we were, talking about there during Elbow and Fallen Angel, we were talking about that I think
Yeah.
if you're locked up, well, not locked up in a room, you've got a normal life, except there's no women in it,
Yeah.
right?
But how would that happen? What would his point of reference be? How would you bring
Right,
up
hang
a
on a minute,
person
can I just ask
and
you something,
totally...
though?
Go on.
How can infinite monkeys and a typewriter?
Right, again, I've told you before, right? That is not... You don't actually have to test that model. It's basically a model for that explains the nature of infinity. Okay?
Yeah, but
I've told you before. It works because of the definition of infinity. There's nowhere in the world you'll ever be able to get an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters to
But anyway, all I'm saying
Yeah.
is, I think if you don't know about women, would you crave for a woman, even though you don't know they're around?
when you hit sort of puberty, your hormones will kick in and you'd start getting urges.
But for what? If you don't know about it?
You don't have to know about it. You don't, if you grew up and you started feeling hunger, you wouldn't go, "I wonder what that is." You'd go, "Get me a sandwich, I'm starving."
It's different though, it's different.
But I'm not. But we're not
Body's
saying
weird.
it's all hardwired or people can't change their natural state. We do it all the time. We fight nature all the time with conditioning.
Body's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right,
well that's that one. I'll tick
I was-
that. It's weird, isn't it?
No,
I'll
the
tick-
body is. There was something,
Yeah.
did you read that thing the other week about,
Man with two penises?
no, we don't need that, we don't need that.
Lawyer who got in office realised he was actually an orangutan and they just shaved him and put a suit on him from Hugo Boss. And the funny thing is, he won the case and the judge said, "Well, don't send him back to jungle. Let him set off on his own. Budget, wibble and podge. You'd make the best judge in the world.
No, there was a fella
Here's a banana."
who, was in a coma for 20 years. Just, they kept, like, taking him through, like, the normal day, they'd take him to Alton Towers and stuff. Doesn't know anything about it, just kept going through the motions. Don't know if they kept charging him. Kept putting him through all that. He eventually came out of it. 20 years.
And went, "Stop taking me to Alton Towers, it's shit."
I just thought,
And
imagine how much
stop
post he had.
making, eh?
How much post?
Oh,
Did you read about that guy in the paper, Karl? He, sorry, on the internet. He in about, I think it was about 1984, 85, he had a terrible car accident.
But this must be it.
He went
This
into a coma.
This must be what he's talking about.
Well, they didn't take him to Alton Towers.
Of course they didn't. But you've got to try and decipher the truth from the conjecture, from the thing that I mean, don't forget, Karl says, realises that he's had a dream. He talks to Suzanne and goes, that was good, wasn't it, last night we were in the plane? She goes, no, it's a dream. He goes, oh yeah, where's my cornflakes? You got to, you know what I mean, I can now decipher what he's actually seen, what he's read.
Well, go on, what did you...
Well, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
It is the same guy.
It was a guy in some small American town, and he'd had a car crash, and he'd gone into a coma, and his wife had left him. She'd gone on with her life, because he'd been in a coma since then, and he had just woken up recently.
Marriage wasn't working.
Marriage wasn't working. He just wasn't paying enough attention. He actually had, she was pregnant at the time, and so now his daughter is basically the same age as he was when he went into the coma. And, he's just started coming around, he's just started making jokes. He says, they said, how do you feel? He said, horny, which I thought was quite witty for a man who'd been in a coma for however many years. But anyway, yeah, so he's slowly trying to rebuild, what life he can.
That's
what do you make of that, though? Because the thing is that he's missed. Imagine what he's missed, Karl. Imagine the music that he's missed. The
Live
TV
Aid.
programs.
Missed Live Aid.
Live Aid. He
He missed, Phil Collins playing in 2 continents in one day.
Which, frankly, I'd be devastated if I discovered that.
Missed
happened.
Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't, so he'd put on ripped jeans and they go, passe.
They just have to send him a series of those, I Love 1986
Exactly.
programs with Kate Thornton filling him in on what he's doing.
Exactly. Peter Kay reminding him of space operas.
Yeah,
he
Richard
remembers
Blackwood
those.
talking rubbish.
Yeah. So,
extraordinary though, isn't it, Karl, to think?
Mm.
No, obviously
So,
not.
had he aged much? Because he hadn't had any problems or anything, no worries.
well,
Is that
he probably wouldn't have, physiologically, he probably wouldn't have the wear and tear of a 43-year-old man.
Was that a good
Because
kid?
he wouldn't have had sun, he wouldn't have had sort of nicotine, beer.
Unless they were just feeding that to him.
Anyway,
Try and
still,
bring him round.
yeah, yeah.
You feel groggy though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you might feel a bit groggy, yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's not fully back to normal. I mean, there's
No,
some
it's-
kind of residual brain damage.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, he can form sentences. He's got no real memory, so he can't remember a lot of things.
It was just when I saw
Karl,
it,
have
that's
you been in an accident?
So we, given the answers out for what's his name?
Oh, later, play a tune. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
The Snoop Dogg?
Oh, play
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg from 1993. And What's My Name?
Long time ago.
It was indeed.
10 years ago.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Songs of Phrase. We've had very, very few entries. I really think people aren't interested. They really have just given up. I mean, seriously, Karl,
That's
I
the
don't mean
one
to be
thing, that's the
disrespectful.
one thing you contributed to this show, Karl. And it's the weak link, I
the
think,
missing link.
in the chain. The missing link. Oh, do you reckon there is one, Karl? Do you reckon they'll ever find the missing link? Wandering around Manchester.
Wait a minute, Karl. The stats then, let's have the answers, if we can.
Right, it was,
Well, let's
specials.
play it once more.
Alright.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why.
Special.
Yep. Jermaine Jackson.
Game of swing.
Right, it was, Play the Game of Love. I think that was Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Right, you think, but you're not sure.
Louis Armstrong was the, Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, We're Having a Good Time, and that.
We're having a ball.
We're having a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you yourself weren't entirely clear, I think it's only fair to give it to Paul Brown, who got some of the answers right.
PB, you are getting those prizes.
well
they
done,
are
PB.
on their way
They're
to you
winning their
now.
way.
The number of times I find a theory that he said in gobbledygook, but it's true. I think that, I think he's been dealt a bad hand in the brain department. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thoughts, Karl?
Well, your brain's in 2 bits, innit?
Yeah.
And I wonder if one half is really good, the other half's messing it up.
Yeah.
That's how I feel sometimes.
That could be the case.
Yeah, well, it is split into 2, yeah, and they are responsible for different things.
Yeah.
It's like these sort of families where there's a kind of really bright kid and then a sort of wayward child who just gets into drugs and stuff. Sort of like that up there
Yeah.
in your head.
Because you have quite sort of out there nebulous thoughts, and you've got a lot of common sense, haven't you?
And just having that, that other sense of like, this is dodgy.
What spider sense?
Just that sense where you just go, I don't know why, but something's telling me we shouldn't be here. When you go, all right, let's go, and you move from it, and you don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You don't know what's decided that. You know, it's like when you're lost. A part of my brain's got me lost, but then there's another bit that I don't know what it is, where they go left. And you do, and then you go, remember that time when you called me and I said I don't know where I am, and I couldn't concentrate.
Think of that! I called him! Oh my god, what are you doing? I don't know where I am.
What do you mean you didn't know where you were? What you?
I got lost. I went
in
wandering.
London you got lost?
Yeah. And I went wandering, and then, you know, I
It's
was
when
like,
he first moved into his new place. He was walking back from his old place to his new place, and he didn't know where he was. He
How
tried
can
to
you
take a
ever
short.
really get lost in London? No, I'm just. It's a cabbie.
well, yeah, I don't want to do that because you feel bad pulling one over and then saying, where am I?
Yeah, they don't appreciate that, do they?
But I found my way back, didn't I?
Yeah.
But you told me
20
one
minutes.
time that you much prefer getting lost. You love wandering around and getting lost.
Yeah,
you said
go-
that's much better.
go around
It
the
was a cold
cul-de-sac.
day. It was a cold day. I just wanted to be at home. I had things to do. There's a time and place to be lost.
Well, go on.
Well, a place
What's
you
the
don't
place?
know.
What's
and
the place to be lost?
Somewhere you don't know.
Right, good. Okay,
And the
specific.
time?
The time.
Time when you're not in a rush.
Right.
But that time I was in a rush, and I was
And-
cold.
So a typical argument in your head is what? I'm lost. I'll do one side of the brain, you do the other side of the brain, okay, in your head, okay? Karl,
What?
this isn't where we should be. You want to go home, didn't you? This isn't your house, because it's a field. You live in a house, don't you? Why are we standing in a field? This isn't your house. You were meant to go home, but you've walked into a field.
No, but that wouldn't. I've never been that lost. Where I'm walking across a field, at the edge of the field, I'd go, hang on a minute, this isn't right. I wouldn't get in the middle. I wouldn't go that far. I'd go, right, I definitely shouldn't be here.
You did once. You were in the middle of a field, and your dad had to rescue you.
Yeah,
and carry
that's
you
when I
through
was
the
a kid because I was reading as I was walking. That's,
And he never read again.
but there's another sense. I was in the middle of nettles there.
Yeah.
I'd walked. It was at my brother's wedding in Cornwall, and I was walking near a cliff edge.
Reading a book.
And okay, so okay. Walking. Karl, I know you're enjoying this book. Can I have a word with you? Just look past the book a minute. There's a big drop.
Yeah. Well, that's what happened, and then
Right.
that's when the other senses went, hang on a minute, I'm being stung. Load of nettles and stuff. And I just had to wait there for ages until my dad sort of thought, where's Karl? I was there for about an hour and a half.
You showed a book.
Fuck me like a cartoon.
But why are you wandering off reading a book when it's your brother's wedding?
No, this was like, we were in, I think it was St Ives in Cornwall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in St Ives. And just, you know, it was a nice day in that. There was no telly in the place. It was a horrible house. It was haunted, actually. No, honestly.
No, not honestly. It wasn't haunted. There's no such thing as ghosts. So
It's the
so you saying honestly it was haunted means fuck all.
It's the weirdest place and weirdest sensation I've ever had. I spoke to a woman called Mrs. Battersby,
Right.
who sat on my bed keeping me up all night. My mum came up, she said, you look shattered. I said, yeah, I haven't had a kip all night. She said, why? I said, I've been talking to Mrs. Battersby. She said, who's that? I said, I don't know, some old woman. Now, I can't remember it now, but that's what I did then. And then,
Sorry. So Mrs. Battersby didn't exist. Is that what you're saying? She was the ghost.
yeah.
Wasn't the landlady.
No, there's no landlady. It's a big house,
Right.
about 12 bedrooms in it.
Right.
Dead cheap to stay there because it was a wreck. My
Were
mum
you
and dad
ill?
went out
Were you
one
ill?
night.
Did you have flu at the
No,
time?
I had nothing like that. I just...
So you were sitting up, but you were awake, and you were having a conversation with Mrs. Battersby.
What did she look like?
I can't remember. I can't even remember having the chat now.
Right,
But
so-
at the time, I was like, oh, she just doesn't shut up. Chatting all night.
So you don't remember this happening? Or you do remember it happening?
No, I remember that, like, if I see my mum now and I mention St. Ives, she'll go, oh, yeah, Mrs. Battersby. She remembers coming in because she was older than me, wasn't she? So to
Who?
her, my mum.
Was she?
Yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Battersby. She was older than both
She
of you.
was old because I'm calling her Mrs. Battersby. If she was my age, I'd probably say, oh, it's Susan or whatever.
Right, sure,
You
Miss
call
Bat-
older
Miss
people
Battersby.
by the surname, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so she kept me
How
up
old
all
were you?
night. You know, I'm thinking of pictures at the wedding.
Why do you have to go through other things to just have a memory?
How old do you reckon you were?
I don't understand why you haven't got direct access to your memories.
How old do you reckon you were?
Your mum was older, though, yeah?
You must have a vague idea of when this
I'm
event
thinking about
was.
it now. I'm thinking. I'm
Okay.
picturing the picture of myself at this wedding.
Okay.
And how old are you? What are you doing?
How tall were
I'd say
you?
I look about.
How were you?
I'd say I look about 7 or 8. Looking at the picture.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So Mrs. Battersby is chatting away to you. You don't remember what she said, but you do remember having the conversation.
No, he doesn't remember it
I
at
don't
all.
remember the chat now.
Well, then
So-
why are you telling us?
It's
You
not
must
your
remember it
memory.
because you're telling us about
It's not
it.
your
Because it's a
memory.
memory. My mum's reminded me of it.
Yeah, but all it says is, this is so far removed. This is hearsay that your mum said you spoke to a ghost once, and you don't even remember the ghost.
Mrs. Battersby.
No,
Yeah,
you
no, but
remember
you
the
don't
name
remember
only because
her.
your mum reminded you of
In a
it.
court of law, if there was a ghost court, they go hearsay, thrown out of court.
Right.
You
yeah.
don't have a memory of Mrs.
No,
Battersby.
look, I know that when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I ate a beetle. I ate a beetle because I thought it was licorice. Now, I can't remember that now.
You can't remember that, but you know it happened because your mother told you it happened.
Exactly.
Right. But the fundamental thing is that we can believe we can believe you ate a beetle, right? Because that is something that could happen in real life.
But-
what we're questioning is that you spoke to a ghost.
What sort of beetle was it?
Just one of them standard beetles, just a black shiny one.
Thing is, right, a couple of years ago, we were in the Ivy, and the food came, and there's a big blob of wasabi, right? It was like called an Oriental hors d'oeuvre, right? And I looked over at Karl, and he started going, drinking water. I said, what have you done? He said, I had that. I said, that was a blob of wasabi. He said, I thought it was one mushy pea.
That's a classy restaurant that they serve in one mushy pea.
Well, they do that, don't they?
Wow.
Small portions. It's all trendy, isn't it?
I love the fact that it's exactly the same thing. They've swapped beetle for wasabi
Yeah.
and licorice for pea. You see things, you see something, you
It's a
think...
good job you remembered that anecdote, though, because he doesn't.
Exactly, yeah. In years to come, we'll be going, I ate some wasabi once. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, according to Ricky, I did, yeah. I was in the Ivy. I thought it were mushy pea.
So hang on, I just want to go back to Mrs. Battersby because
What
you
other-
confidently said it was
most
it
haunted.
was haunted. It was the most haunted place.
Yeah.
But you've got no real evidence for it because even you claim you had this encounter, you don't even remember it.
But you don't remember everything in life,
But you
do you?
supposedly had a conversation with a ghost.
I know, but I didn't know. When I was younger, I
But you
didn't think
remember
that
the
was a
specifics
ghost.
of an ant walking around.
Yeah, so you thought, so I see. If you'd have had the memory, it would just be a nice old lady on the end of your bed all night.
Right.
And then...
Then when I mentioned it, my mum was saying, what do you mean, Mrs. Battersby? Who's Mrs. Battersby?
Right?
When you're a kid, you're not terrified, are you?
No.
Nothing scares
I mean,
you.
I'm beginning to think, who the fuck is Mrs. Battersby, I must admit. But
So, yeah, that was, but it was a weird place. I mean, there was no telly. All they had for sort of company was a calculator.
Carl, you are the strangest little man
That's
that's ever
extraordinary.
lived. Company, he had a company.
No.
There goes Carl with his friend. What's his friend? Oh, it's a little...
It's a Sanyo 4197G.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, calculator, do that boobs thing again.
My mum and dad used to go out. I stayed in there.
Just shots of him with his calculator on the beach. My only friend was a calculator. Oh, God. Just imagine shots of him in Vietnam just carrying Tommy. His
batteries died, they had to have a funeral for him.
His barrels roll over the floor. Oh, fucking hell. My only company was a calculator. Before I used to knock around with a brick. Oh, fuck me.
We have to face facts here.
Go on.
The world is old.
Hold on. All right, okay. Yeah,
world's
it's
old.
The world is
That
old.
is a fact.
Yep.
That is a fact.
It's the same as if you've got a gran who's 70.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do for her. You can say you're warm, but at the end of the day, she's still going to be shitting her pants. She's still going to be, forgetting things
right.
and all the rest of it. And you might be taking care of her, but at the end of the day, the good days are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in a way, like the world, it's got to a point that it's old. And yeah, we can say turn the tap off, turn the lights off, close the windows, stop letting heat out.
The earth, metaphorically, is shitting its pants.
We are not the same as the first man that nature made.
No, we're not, no.
And that's where we went wrong. And if we didn't interfere at that point, we might have been more suited to the conditions now.